Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is a really big unboxing. I'm going to show it, like, really big unboxing from Stackry. So basically, I'm going to show you what's inside. It should be pretty exciting. There's lots of really kind of, there's a theme to this unboxing in a way. I picked up sort of like homage cover kind of situation where sort of a modern, really great artist paid homage to somewhat older artist, like Golden Age book, and both are famous in their own right. So this unboxing has a lot of that. It's kind of strange. You'll see what I mean when I get into it. But I'm actually going to do this as two parts because it is so big. I believe it's like 20 some odd orders in one. So yeah, we're going to do it as multiple unboxings. But I will get into it. So there's one bag. They did a really good job of packing it this time. Whole bunch of slabs. Put that right there. And oh, this one's really big. There. Now the rest can just go on the floor. Wow, so much struggling. Okay, and then there's this really big bag of stuff. I'm going to put that over here. And what I'm going to do for this unboxing is just going to be the first two packages. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. We'll just do these two. And then tomorrow's video will be the part 2 of this video, where we'll show the other the other half of all the unboxing. However, this one should be great because it will have a lot of slabs in it. So I'll do the slabs last. Still, I'll do whatever's in this one first. So let's get this one out. This one's quite big. Oh, this is actually kind of a cool one. It's just one book, but it's quite cool. They wrapped it really well. They did a good job of protecting it. Actually, it's 2 books. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so the first one this is called Vamps and Vixens. It's seductive art by Dave Stevens. So this is like these kind of poster size. It's like a poster size art book, and it's just really great. It's got a lot of his really good girl art. So it's really kind of nice. It's like this one has almost like a Betty Page feel to it. So just really nice. Maybe I'll open it up and show it because this is going to be, I think tomorrow's video will be longer in terms of the unboxing part. So I kind of figured, hey, I'll show a bit more on this one. So let me show you some of Dave Stevens' art. So this is the front. You got the back here. You can see some of this stuff. Actually, I have a pretty good collection of Dave Stevens stuff now. I have all these comics. So oops, wait. I gotta find ones. Okay, so this is a lot of nudity. One sec. I didn't know that. One sec here. Okay, but I'll pick the pages that aren't with nudity. So I was actually debating about my members area being like places where I show maybe some of the nude art. I was debating about it, but you can leave in the comments below. Should I have in my members area the adult comics and like the covers that I don't want to really show to the general public because I want to keep this channel PG. But I'm thinking in the members area, maybe I could, show some of the cool art that I have. So this is Vampirella. Just a really great, I wish I could show some of these covers. Some of them are really quite good. This is the Black Angel. This is quite nice. I have this as a comic. It's quite cool. I really like Dave Stevens' artwork. So if you like good girl art, Dave Stevens the man. He's like really awesome. Okay, so that's Vamps and Vixens. It's like an art book by Dave Stevens. And there's this one, which is wrapped very strangely. We'll see what it is. Oh, okay. This is kind of interesting. Some more risque stuff. This is more Sally Forth. I had to censor it a little bit here. This is Sally Forth number 4. In a previous unboxing video, I showed issues number 1 and 2. Well, this is issue number 4 and issue number 3. Okay, I'll show it. I'll maybe censor a little bit. It's a little bondage cover. It's just a really great Wally Wood artwork. Yeah, not meant for kids inside. But it's generally the Sally Forths were kind of like her running around half naked half the time. It's nothing sexual, but well, nudity, but not sexual. It was kind of interesting. So yeah, but Sally Forth is kind of an interesting comic. And these ones were from the 1970s. These were self-published by Wally Wood, and they're quite rare, so they're quite good. I really like Wally Wood's stuff. I liked him when he did EC. I liked that he did Power Girl, and so I do collect particular artists. Like I mentioned Dave Stevens, I collect his artwork. I collect Wally Wood's stuff. I collect Al Felstein's artwork, and I collect Alex Schomburg's artwork, L.B. Cole, and Matt Baker's stuff. So I collect like a few artists where I try to get pretty much anything from them. So those are all in that kind of thing. Okay, another one I collect is Bruce Timm. Okay, so now we're getting into the slabs, and that'll be the first part of this video. Will be just those few comics and the slabs. So these are pretty great slabs though, so you should like this. Okay, so the first thing is actually not a slab. It is another art book. Let me get it out. So this is it's just an art book by Olivia. And this art book is kind of interesting because it's kind of Olivia is like this really great artist who did a lot of these really amazing Betty Page covers and artwork. So she's a little bit of naughty style there. Let's see, I'll show you some. So this video is a lot of artwork. Oh, wow, this is really nice. You can see really great artwork. Just really, really beautiful renderings of Betty Page. Betty Page was a 50s pinup star, for those who do not know. And it was really Dave Stevens that brought her back to people's attention. But Olivia did her job as well, trying to bring back Betty Page into sort of modern popularity. So we got some more lingerie covers there. Yeah. And Betty Page, she would do kind of these interesting little photo magazines back in the 50s, where she would be like, you know, whips and bondage, and it was very interesting stuff back then. Okay, now we'll get into the slabs. I have, it looks like 6 slabs. So I'll show you the first one. First one is Big Hero 6. This is a high grade. I got it pretty cheaply, actually. There is some talk. I believe there is a series that's going to come out that is Big Hero 6. Now, this is not the first appearance of Big Hero 6. I think it's Starfire Comics or something like that, where they made their first appearance. Or it was like Starfire and Big Hero 6 or something like that, where they made their first appearance. But this comic is their first solo title series. So I thought it was kind of a cool one to get. It was affordable. I think it was $60 that I paid for a slab. I thought it was reasonable. So it's white pages, obviously. It's brand new. This is from 2008. So pretty recent slab. And it's a high grade. It looks like, actually, when I look at it, Oh, wow. They were really strict on this one. So this one is almost flawless. But on the back, in the very small corner, you can see like just like a little, like the most little, like not tear or anything, but just like where it's just a little bit like of a, not bend or anything, just like a little bit of a color breaking point, I guess. But very, very minor. Like that should have been a 9/8, but oh well. This is actually a really cool one. This is Invaders #1. This is such a great comic that not many people even know about. And it's sad that they don't know about this comic. This comic is huge, like for what it is. So if you look at it, and if you know anything about the war comics, like Captain America would be the best ones to as an example, because this is a Captain America cover. Back then, it was done by Alex Schomburg. And Alex Schomburg did these really amazing, like active things. And if you look at them, they have Hitler, they have all this kind of crazy stuff going on in those World War II covers. Well, Alex Schomburg, he kind of left the art scene for like, not arts, like the comic art scene, I should say. He was still doing like sci-fi magazine artwork, but he didn't do comics for like about 20, 30 years, but maybe 20 years, where he sort of left in the 50s and really wasn't back into it until this comic. And this was it. He did this comic, and he did the cover. So it actually says Schomburg at the bottom here. So this was like 1977, and it's just a story from Avengers 71, told from Invaders' point of view. Yellow Jacket, Black Panther appearance, and it's a Roy Thomas story. So Alex Schomburg cover, Frank Robbins, Frank Singer, Don Rico, and Alex Schomburg and Lee Ellis art. So a whole bunch of really big names went into this comic. And it's just highly underrated comic. Just a really great one to have in the collection. It's sort of like the bookend to Alex Schomburg's comic artist career to have that book. So that was a pretty cool one. The next one is this one, Captain Marvel. And I actually got this because it's cheap. It was kind of a pricey book. This had gone up a huge amount because it's what's her name? The girl from WandaVision. So basically, she got into Rambone, Jessica Rambone or Monica Rambone. I had to remember the name, Monica Rambone. She basically takes on the mantle of Captain Marvel later, and that's what this is. So it's kind of interesting to have her other, like, so there's like, the question was during the WandaVision series, what was the character going to become? Was she going to become, like, there was like 3 different names. She was going to become either Captain Marvel, or was she going to become Impulse, or there was a, like, something like that. There was a bunch of names that she was going to become. For some reason, I'm blanking it on her names that she could have became. But this was one of them. There was huge spec around this book. It kind of went up huge in terms of price, and it kind of came back down. So I picked it up when it was on the down. So I picked it up fairly cheaply. So I was quite happy to get that, just because, it could be something. And it's kind of cool to get these kind of first appearances where a character makes their first appearance as something new. Okay, so the next one. Take out the slip here. Oh, wow, this is huge. So some of these slabs are really major. This one's a really major slab. Actually, I did a video where I talked about this book. And I got in so much trouble. Got into so much trouble because of this book. I did a video where I was talking about Journo's, one of his videos, and Journo's Comics and Games. And basically I was talking about how the Golden Age wasn't the, racist, sexist, lamest like era that people knew. It was not that way, I said. And I basically referred to this book where I said this book shows that the Golden Age wasn't this racist cesspool that people try to make it out to be. There was a real movement within the comics to be more open and tolerant towards other groups. And this book was a really good example of that, because the story in this book is of this sort of like futuristic situation where like somebody from the World Alliance of Planets comes to a planet, and on the planet there are two types of these robots. Okay, I think they're orange robots and blue robots, and one gets treated differently than the other. Basically, it's a lesson or allegory in racism. And at the end of it, they're not allowed to join the planet, the World Planet Organization, right? Because they have this racist tendency on this world, where they treat one group of robots differently just because of the sheer color of their outer skin than the other group of robots. So and the astronaut that comes down, you never see his face the whole time. You don't see his face, and he's like, and they're trying to make an appeal to him to join this League of Planets, and you never see his face. And then at the very end of the story, after he says, sorry, once you guys mature and you get rid of this racist attitudes that you have on your planet, then we'll allow you to join the League of Planets, or whatever it's called. And what happens is he takes off, he gets onto his spaceship and leaves. And then for the viewers of the story, he removes his helmet, and you see that he's a black man. So it was kind of that allegory, or story, a lesson, morality story that kind of shows that they were not as backward as we might think of, people living in the 40s and 50s. They actually had some, good stories that they wrote about racial tensions and racial problems. And I think it was a much better way of writing than the way that they do it nowadays, where they just beat you over the head. So I was kind of using this book as an example of how stories can be very enlightening and actually advance different motives or agendas, but without having to be so blatant, I guess, that the way that they do it nowadays. It's just, I find it kind of brutal. They're almost, it's just too pushed nowadays, the agendas, whereas this was much more of a real story, a proper story. And I think in a way the Golden Age really doesn't get as much credit as it deserves for pushing like really thought-provoking ideas. The way that they did it is they really made it a thought experiment, and I think that is commendable. Okay, so the next two, I sort of mentioned this at the beginning of the video, was a modern comic and a Golden Age comic that are kind of, one's paying homage to the other. So this is the modern comic with a Bruce Timm art. This is Out of This World. And it's from 1989. It's just a really great cover. It's actually maybe my favorite, maybe my second favorite. I'm not sure. It's sort of debatable. I actually really love this cover. Maybe my favorite Bruce Timm cover. I think this is just such a great cover. It's got the good girl art going on. It's got the bondage thing going on. It's got the alien going on. It's like so awesome. It's just a really great cover. Now this cover kind of pays homage to an earlier Golden Age comic, and I just happened to get both at the same time. It was not intentional that I did that. It just happened to be that way. So this is the Golden Age one, and actually I got a pretty good graded one. I'm not sure if you can see it. It has some, the problem with it is it has lots of foxing. And if it wasn't for the foxing, it would be a much better, higher grade. Because there's really not much wrong with this comic, except for the foxing. And it's Space Adventures number 12. And you can see it's kind of a similar situation. The alien's in the doorway, it's coming in, and then there's the girl here, the good girl. It's a little different. You know, they're both blondes, but she's not in bondage, though. But it's kind of interesting. So on this, it says, "Hello, Earth. I've landed safely. No sign of life here." And then the alien's coming in at the same moment. So it's kind of funny as well. So this is Space Adventures number 12 from 1954. And this comic is really a great classic sci-fi cover by Steve Ditko. Just a really, really, really great one to have in the collection. So I was very excited to get this. so that's it for this first half of unboxing. The reason I'm doing this as 2 parts is I didn't want to have that hour-long video where people will be like, oh, you know, it's too long, I'm not going to watch that whole thing. And I figured if I divide it into 2 parts, you know, people can, it's much easier to digest in terms of watching it. Also, it allows me to give a little bit more history and more knowledge about why I buy these comics and maybe why they're worth picking up. So I hope you enjoy that and appreciate it. So this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 has some really amazing books in it too. So definitely watch tomorrow's video as well. Again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my other videos that are somewhere over there. Wherever, somewhere on the screen, I will have other videos you can watch. Okay, bye for now.